203 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. For Tyreek Hill, it was 17-0. Second quarter, Bucs looking to answer. And Rex, they were trying to
run a running back caught a football. Imagine that for Tampa Bay. Congratulations.
Rojo with the high hurdle and then the fancy footwork. He had 103 yards on the day. It was 20-7 at the half. Mid-third, it's 20-10. It's Mahomes again. Rex, it's Tyreek Hill again.
And it's man coverage again, Greeny. 101. Nice job.
13 catches, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns for Hill. Fourth quarter, Brady finding Mike Evans for 31 yards. That made it 27-17. They would get closer. They'd get this to 27-24 on this touchdown from Brady to Evans. And there's 4 minutes left in the game. So if they'd been able to get a stop, Brady would have had a chance to win the game. But you don't get a stop when Patrick Mahomes is playing quarterback for the other team. 3rd and 7. Rex, they put it away through the air.
3rd and 7. You know they're going to run the football here, Greeny. Of course they are. No, they're not. Why? Because you have Patrick Mahomes.
And ridiculous. With that, it is the Chiefs who get the win, 27-24. And so, again, we opened the show this morning talking from the Buccaneers side of things, their struggles, their offense, their game plan. Dan, now let's give due where it is clearly deserved. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and it's going to go to one of those Tyreek Hill touchdowns. I want everyone to hear kind of the audio of one of these clips. You're going to listen to Patrick Mahomes break the huddle. This is right when he breaks the huddle. Just listen to him call out the coverage before he ever gets to the line of scrimmage. Pay attention. Okay, so now Patrick Mahomes just broke the huddle and he goes, cover zero for everyone. Cover zero is man coverage. Now, how does Patrick Mahomes, when he breaks the huddle, how is he able to already know the coverage before ever scanning over the defense? Because coverage indicators by Andy Reid, you take your tight end, you put him in the slot, a little bit of a non-traditional place. He's matched by safety. Okay, I've got a man-to-man coverage. Now I'll put Le'Veon Bell out here. Now he's got to be matched by Devin White. Patrick Mahomes breaks the huddle. That's the first thing he looks at. He knows as a defense you're in man-to-man coverage. Either cover zero, which he yells out, or cover one. It doesn't matter. Now, when you get to man-to-man coverage, quarterbacks think of 2 things. Number 1, is there a scheme, a mesh, a rub, a pick that we love? Or is there a guy that we love? Were you the first pick on the schoolyard at the draft? Now, newsflash. It wasn't Mike Greenberg and it wasn't Rex Ryan. The guy who was picked first was Tyreek Hill, okay? He's one-on-one up top there, and he's just going to run a go route. Patrick Mahomes knows the coverage. He already knows that I know my guy's one-on-one down in the red zone go route, but it's got to happen quick. Now, again, why is he able to happen so fast? Watch this. Look at this with Patrick Mahomes. Knows the coverage. Ball's already coming out of his hands. The ball is already coming out of his hands. And Tyreek Hill, that pick is only 1, 2, 3, 4 yards downfield. How can Patrick Mahomes operate that quickly at the line of scrimmage? Because he already knew what the coverage was. And how about that throw? Look at the throw. That is incredible ball placement. When you give the most talented player at the position the coverage before the snap, talent reigns supreme. But this is the angle that I love the most. Because listen, the information isn't only for just Patrick Mahomes. The information could be for everybody on the offense. Look at Tyreek Hill's 4 yards downfield. He's already peeking back for the football. He knows it's man coverage too. He knows Patrick Mahomes is going to dial him up because at the end of the day, this is actually pretty good coverage. But Carlton Davis is just getting his head around, and the ball's already about to drop in Tyreek Hill's lap. The information that Patrick Mahomes gets before the snap, I want everyone to think of when they were a student and they had to go into exams. Imagine not only knowing the questions, but knowing the answer to the questions before walking in. It might have been one of the reasons why I got through school. It would have helped you perform a lot better, just like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
It's extraordinarily well done. It's such a good look at it there. And Rex, again, no one knows defense more than you do. And to some degree, Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, they're just ridiculously good. But you didn't like what you saw from the defensive game plan anyway.
No, it was absolutely brutal. Like, this was, and there's one great example by Dan, but there were several in that. It's like, first off, you have to start by saying, okay, this guy can beat me immediately. Like, and so to me, I've got to take him away, at least slow him up. How do you do that? You roll your coverage to Tyreek Hill 100% of the time. Why? Because 100% of the time, you can't cover a man coverage. And that's what happens. So you have to do that. And it's just absolutely crazy. Look, he may know it's, that your coverage, you're rolling your coverage there. At least he ain't going to beat you with Tyreek Hill.
Ryan Clark, let's talk about it. What are you going to do with them when they're playing well, when Patrick Mahomes is doing his thing and Tyreek Hill is doing his thing? Like, what are you going to do with them?
You ain't gonna do a dang thing, Greeny, but get your tail cooked. just like we saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. Listen, bro, when they pull out the big game playbook, they're a totally different team. You look at Baltimore, Buffalo, Tampa Bay. They outgained those three teams in their big games, the big opponents, the good offenses, by 675 yards because they understand the moment. They know what they have to do offensively. And Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid, they stopped playing small ball. They stopped saying, you know what, let's work on the run game or let's focus on this guy. And they started saying, we about to bomb on y'all and y'all can't stop us. Look at the 4-minute offense when other teams turn around and hand the ball off and try to salt the clock away. You know what they did? They put the ball in the hands of the best football player in the world, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And when this team comes out with this mindset, you can't stop them. And we saw that last night.
They were unbelievable yesterday. That was a statement performance, no question about it. And Mahomes for MVP, I think, is starting to gather a little momentum. So that was an eminently watchable game. Now let's go to one that was so much to unpack coming out of this game. We will do this in separate chunks. We will talk about the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and all of that as we continue. But it does feel coming out of this as though the Buccaneers are the story, Rex, as they continue to struggle. And as you watch this marriage between the coach and the quarterback develop, what are you seeing?
Oh, man, I see Bruce Arians, can I just say, once we heard him say, we wanted to give him the Lombardi Trophy, because we made an assumption. The assumption, Greedy, was that you're going to put your player in the best position to be successful.
And he's not.
What would you do? You would go and you'd say, okay, Brady, we're going to run your offense. They don't do that. I don't care what people say. Here we are getting ready to play in December, and they're still not running Tom Brady's offense. The worst thing, I'm going to say Bruce Arians was a heck of a football coach. The worst thing that ever happened to Bruce Arians was when the no risk it, no biscuit caught fire. Now he's into this. This is who I am and all that stuff. Man, you were a great football coach. It wasn't about your hat. It wasn't about your slogans or any of that other BS. Go back to doing what you would do. Put your player in the best possible situation. Tom Brady, we're running your offense. All right? Why? Because you had a hell of a lot more success than we've ever had as coaches or anything else. So to me, that's the biggest disappointment.
Danny, let's talk about the offense that they are running, because you've been saying it for a while, and I've been saying it for a while, and yesterday Tony Romo was saying it on the telecast. Are they running the right offense?
Absolutely not. The Buccaneers offensively are the walking definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Here's my thing. Last week I ranted on the motion. All right, so now this week you have no plan for pressure? Like there's no way to communicate at the line of scrimmage. What's our plan for pressure? How are we going to communicate against it? And how are we going to execute with it? And then the lack of play-action pass. Like the lack of play-action pass is something that I've talked about for about 6 weeks with this offense. Tom Brady, by every measure right now, is the second-ranked play-action passing quarterback in the NFL. It keeps him clean. It helps their offensive line use in protection. It creates some of the chunk passes. They ran it 5 times yesterday. 5. So last week, you ran motion 6 times. Yesterday, you run play-action pass 5 times. He goes 4 for 5, 83 yards in a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes ran play-action pass 17 times. Right now, Bruce Arians is wasting Tom Brady. He got served a silver platter, on a silver platter, the greatest quarterback to ever play. And all you had to do was use him the right way. And he's completely failing Tom. And I've got fear that it's going to bury this football team this season.
So you and I see that the same way. Ryan Clark, following you on Twitter as I do, and getting the chance to chat with you often as I do, I clearly get a sense that you don't think it's all on the coaching here. What are you seeing?
No, I heard Rex talk about his assumption, right? The assumption was that under Bruce Arians, we would get the 5,000 yards that Jameis Winston had last year, but because of Tom Brady, we wouldn't get the mistakes. Nobody said that they'd get Tom Brady. Bruce Arians would change what he does, and that's why Tom Brady wouldn't turn the ball over. No, we thought that Tom Brady wouldn't turn the ball over because he's freaking Tom Brady. And we thought that you would get all of this explosion because you had Mike Evans, who, guess what, was good with Bruce Arians. Because you had Chris Godwin, who, guess what, was good with Bruce Arians. So we know that Chris Godwin can do these things Bruce Arians is asking to do. We know that Mike Evans can do these things that they're asking him to do, but we thought once you got Tom Brady, you would eliminate mistakes. But that hasn't happened. So now what we want to do is, oh, Bruce, you're wrong. Oh, Byron Leftwich, you're not calling the right plays. Look how much Patrick Mahomes gets to play action. No, Tom Brady has to take some of this as well. He's missed more. He's been off target more than anybody in the NFL, 87 times. That ain't coaching. Having an open guy and not putting the ball on him isn't coaching. That is player-led. That is player-driven. And at some point, we're going to have to stop saying that everything that ever happens bad to Tom Brady is because he has bad coaching. No, say it. Number 12 ain't playing good. They can change some things, yes, but 12 has to be better, and he even said it himself.
Go ahead, Rex.
No, I mean, I agree. Brady certainly has to be better. But this is a 42-year-old man.
43.
He's a 43-year-old guy. And all we're going to do is we're going to drop him back more than any quarterback in the league, like 67% of the time. Where's the running game? That's the reason you don't run play action, because you don't run the darn football. And to me, this thing is mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. And when Peyton Manning had a similar situation, he went to Denver. What happened there? Peyton ran the whole darn thing. Why wouldn't you take your Super Bowl? Bruce, you can put that up there. You know, here's another Super Bowl right here. Like, you have an unbelievable opportunity,
Man,
and I agree with Dan that they're wasting it. And again, look, Brady, of course, he's throwing way too many interceptions. I don't disagree with that. But one of the reasons is because you ain't using them right.
So maybe both can be right. Maybe both sides of this can be true. Maybe they are not running the right offense for him, and maybe he's not comfortable in it and not playing well in it and showing a little bit of his age and all of those things. The question is it salvageable? I got 1 minute. Dan Orlovsky, salvageable, yes or no for Tampa this season?
No, I can't sit here after seeing what 12 weeks of football looks like, knowing they got 10 or 12 practices left, and go, they're going to reinvent their offense. I think they're a good football team. They'll make the playoffs, but I can't sit here and pound the table that they're the best in the NFC.
Well, best in the NFC is one thing. How about even making any chance of making a reasonable run?